everyone. Here's what's coming up tonight on News Center Now. Conflicting laws, non-existent licenses. What's up with weed right now?
It has been a little bit unsettled, to say the least.
Marijuana moratoriums expired at the beginning of the month, and Augusta still doesn't have a law on the books.
It's a lot worse than my kid, apparently.
When it comes to cell phones, who is more addicted, parents or kids?
A 10th generation Mainer and 95 years young, the latest edition of Great Stories from the Greatest Generation.
This is News Center Now.
Hello everyone, I'm Lindsay Mills.
And I'm Lee Goldberg. We'll sort out the marijuana mess in a minute. But first tonight, some of the headlines from this afternoon. And we start with an overseas video game company that has been flagged an Ellsworth teen for allegedly threatening to kill his classmates. Police say 19-year-old Michael Allen posted in the Clash of Clans game chat saying he could, quote, kill 30 if he was lucky and would be the most notorious person, end quote. Police considered the online threat very credible. More tonight on News Center at 5:30.
A farm is offering a $1,000 reward for information to find who shot and killed a pregnant goat. An employee says everyone at Smiling Hill Farm in Scarborough is devastated. Police say this was not an accident. The goat was killed during a snowstorm the night of the 17th.
A sobering update on the fight against the opioid epidemic.
The number of fatal overdoses in Maine is still climbing, and a staggering majority of the dead had at least one opioid in their system. New numbers released today by the Attorney General's office show there was an 11% increase in overdose deaths, a total of 418 people. Fentanyl is gaining ground in Maine, killing more people than ever before. On average, one person a week died of an overdose in Portland after Cumberland, York County had the second highest number of overdose deaths, followed by Penobscot County.
Maine marijuana legalization right now is a mess. That's agreed upon by Republicans, Democrats, and every Mainer in between. Mainers voted for legalization 471 days ago, and the statewide moratorium expired 21 days ago. So where are we at with weed, and where are we headed?
But let's be conservative here and let's go slow.
That's been the attitude for the Legislative Marijuana Committee as it wades into the weed waters.
It has been a little bit unsettled, to say the least.
After a veto by the governor back in the fall, the committee has been working towards a marijuana legalization bill that will make the State House and the governor happy.
Pretty frustrating given that every other state could figure this out a lot faster than we could.
In the meantime, the marijuana laws are messy. The statewide moratorium expired on February 1st. So what's in place now? Currently, the referendum from November 2016 and 2 emergency laws signed by the governor.
There can't be any stores, even though there is no moratorium, because we need the state to license them.
The confusion has fueled the state's marijuana legalization committee to find compromise. The committee will likely pass a comprehensive legalization bill on Friday. Then it's up to the legislature and the governor to say yes. Committee members are confident this bill will work. But there's one caveat that has Question 1 supporters uneasy. Marijuana social clubs will not be included.
It's unfortunate that we're not living up to our state motto, Dear Go. This could be an area we could lead on, especially given we are a tourist state, a destination state.
We want to be first in the country in many things. Experimenting with a whole new idea of marijuana social clubs, in my view, is not one of them.
So they're basically hoping that another state takes the plunge first and that Maine can then learn from any mistakes made from social clubs in another state. So if everyone in Augusta is actually happy with this latest bill, you will be allowed to grow 3 mature plants inside your home, not 6, and consuming marijuana outside of your home will still be illegal.
Okay.
Ever since this got passed, it's like more questions, more answers,
it's
more
complicated.
questions.
So, yeah, a lot of layers to this issue.
Yep. All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, Christina.
So it's pretty easy to admit. Everybody is basically addicted to their smartphones, or is it easy to admit?
Right. It might be easier for adults, though, to point the blame on the kids. At least that's the findings of a recent survey.
So you tell us, who's more dependent on their phones in your house? Is it the parents or is it the kids? Go to pulse.newscentermaine.com or open the Pulse tab on our mobile apps so you can vote.
Do you think you're addicted to your phone?
To be honest, a little bit, yeah.
I would say yes.
I check it a lot during the day. It's how I keep in touch with everybody. So yeah, I would say I'm pretty much addicted to it.
A recent survey by Common Sense Media and SurveyMonkey found 32% of the more than 4,000 adults surveyed said they feel they are addicted to their mobile devices. But almost half said their child is addicted to mobile devices. Do you think your kids are addicted to their phones?
Yes, for sure.
Her daughter with a rebuttal.
I don't think I am. Not as bad as you.
That's one worse than my kid, apparently.
I don't check my phone as often.
True.
Are you addicted to your phones?
Yes.
Yeah.
They say their parents get on their case about it.
You're always on your phone. You should go outside and talk to actual people. Don't go on your phone.
They're not alone. According to the survey, 89% of parents believe it's up to them to limit their child's time spent on mobile devices.
My mom doesn't use hers at all, and my dad uses it for work and email, but that's it.
A case, perhaps, of leading by example.
Are you addicted to your phone?
I don't think so.
No?
No.
Half of the parents surveyed said they are concerned about their child's mobile device use and how it will affect their mental health.
So our Pulse poll isn't exactly working right now, so I've decided to vote for everybody. The answer is both. Parents and kids are both addicted to their cell phones.
My favorite both sides here. There you go. All right, we won't lie. Sometimes our meteorologists get it wrong, but there's a scientific reason for that. Raindrops is next.
And later on, redemption on ice. USA wins gold in that rematch against Canada.
I've got a question. How do you get paid if you're only right half the time?
We gotta go. Thanks, Jim.
Nice meeting you.
Jim, thanks for your time.
Nice to meet you, Evan. I wish I had a dime every time somebody said that to me.
Before you think I'm a gluten-avoiding, muscle-lengthening, Snapchat-filtering millennial who can't take a joke, let me just establish that I love to make fun of myself. It's my favorite.
And oh my goodness!
Take it in, America.
Look at this!
But the only job you can be wrong line lacks two crucial joke qualities: laughs and underlying truth. A viewer recently posted this comment on my Facebook page after a snowstorm.
3 inches to forget it? Doctor's office, dentist, real estate, lawyer? I don't think so. Although the lawyer would probably get all the rest out.
But here's the thing. Those professions are all wrong. Doctors misdiagnose and occasionally cost a patient their life. Dentists have to re-drill root canals because it wasn't perfect the first time. And real estate agents misprice homes and take horrible pictures of their properties. Hey, man, I didn't have time to buy a stove yet. Can you just Photoshop it in? Sure, bro. No problem at all. And lawyers, come on, they lose cases and in the case of criminal defense attorneys, get innocent clients sent to prison.
Everything that guy just says, bull. Thank you.
So sure, all professions make mistakes, but typically those mistakes are not visible to hundreds of thousands of people. Plus, and this is crucial, none of those professions are attempting to predict the future. But still, let's explore the facts of today's weather forecasting accuracy. Recently, WBZ meteorologist Eric Fisher tracked his forecast for an entire year. Now, first of all, I'm amazed he had time to input all that data between what I can only assume is a packed schedule of full-body renegade baths and ritualistic sacrifices with Patrick Dempsey. But more importantly, when it came down to hit or miss forecasts for precipitation, i.e. if he called for rain or snow, did it rain or snow that day, the accuracy was verifiably high. 89% accurate for the next day and 73% accurate for day 8, which means even a week in advance, the rain, no rain forecast was right roughly 3 out of 4 times. Not bad. And while tracking to this level is uncommon, this kind of accuracy for degreed meteorologists is not. And we're getting better, fast. Meteorologists are now as good with their 5-day forecasts as they were with their 3-day forecasts in 2005. That's a 66% improvement in just 13 years. And about 30 years ago, when the National Hurricane Center tried to predict where a hurricane would hit 3 days in advance, it missed by an average of 350 miles. Now the average miss is only about 100 miles. That's literally the difference between life and death in many cases. And we can now see a snowstorm coming 5 to 7 days in advance. And snowfall amounts are getting better, which is amazing considering that 1 inch of rain is equal to roughly 10 inches of snow. So any inaccuracy is amplified times 10. So we're getting good, really good at this. But no, admittedly, it's still not perfect. So why not? Well, in theory, weather forecasting could be 100% accurate. After all, the atmosphere is essentially a confluence of fluid dynamics and thermodynamics, both of which can be modeled. But in order to get it right every time, we'd have to know the position and composition of each molecule in the atmosphere. And there are 100 trillion of them. Visually, that's 100 followed by 42 zeros. And as it stands, there's simply no way to measure and remote sense each of those molecules. And even if we could, we still couldn't solve all the equations fast enough with the world's most advanced supercomputers. So what we're forced to do is solve the atmosphere via grid or volumetric box that vary in size from 100 kilometers down to 4 kilometers. And within these boxes, we make the assumption all the air is the same, which of course it isn't, and therein lies the error. Now the boxes are getting smaller and smaller every year, and with it, our accuracy improves. And it's not all just computing power and thermodynamics. It's us silly old meteorologists too. Human input has been shown to increase the accuracy of precipitation forecasts by 25% when compared to just computer model guidance alone. So to summarize, we're pretty accurate already, we're getting even better, your joke isn't funny, and there's still a need for us makeup-wearing, bad pun-making, cheesy headshot weather people.
Okay, so his forecast is more accurate than it was 5 years ago, but it doesn't mean everybody's going to like it. Snow is on the way. And
you know, no better place to raise a family than Maine.
The advice of a 10th generation Mainer. Greatest stories from the greatest generation coming up.
All week we've been sharing some great stories from the greatest generation. Tonight, we will meet Les Brewer.
There is not much that this 95-year-old has not accomplished as a staple of the Bar Harbor community.
That every problem can be solved if people will sit down and talk.
In Les Brewer's 9+ decades of life, he has lived by one simple motto.
I have a T-shirt which says, "Are you smiling?" And it says, this is when you are at your best, no matter what the problem or situation is that you're in, if you can bring some humor.
Born and raised in Bar Harbor, Brewer then went to the University of Maine and graduated with a degree in electrical engineering, and then joined the Army Signal Corps. He was stationed in France, came back home, then went back into the service for the Korean War. Since Brewer's great-grandfather once owned 85 acres on top of Cadillac Mountain, there wasn't much debate as to where Les would be planting his own roots.
No better place to raise a family than Maine.
Brewer and his former football teammate at Bar Harbor High School decided to establish a place for higher education down east in 1969. Being a founding trustee of the College of the Atlantic is one of this soon-to-be 96-year-old's proudest accomplishments.
I may live to be 100. But I am glad that I lived to see the college 50 years old. That's more important to me than my living to be 100.
His passion for education was clear when I asked him what advice he would give to the youth of today.
Get as much education as you can get. That is the most important thing. No one knows where it takes you, but it opens doors. It's like a key. And the further you go in education, the more opportunities you'll have to enter this door, that door, or some other door. And don't be afraid to take chances. If you keep taking chances, you'll have some failures, but you'll have some successes also, and you'll enjoy the successes and failures as you go through life.
Now tomorrow night in our series finale, we'll catch up with 6 women who all went to high school together 70 years ago, and now they're all living in the same nursing home.
I love that.
If you've missed any of the stories we've shared with you this week, you can find them on the Now section of our website.
Saving the best for last.
I think you just described the Golden Girls. I
Yeah,
think that
exactly.
already happened.
You wait till
it was
you
hilarious.
see these women tomorrow night. Hysterical.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good
so
stuff.
we have some more snow on the way, is that
We
right?
do. Yeah, we're back to winter after
Yeah.
the one-day rendezvous we had.
I'm so surprised. It is February.
Did you guys hear the stat I had the other day? If so, you can sound really smart. The average first day we get to 68 in Portland.
No.
What do you think?
Average first day.
First day
March
we get to
1st?
68.
Farther back.
March
than that.
24th.
April 20th.
Oh.
And we did it yesterday. All right, but now we get some snow over southern York County. It's very quickly moving out. But got some pictures and video from Cape Nettic, and it was coming down pretty good there for a short period of time. This whole system, though, lifting to our south and east, and just a couple of snow showers out over the mountains. So most of us clear through tonight. Temperatures will drop in spots, though, down to the teens and even some single digits across northern Maine. By tomorrow morning, we start with sunshine, but clouds increase rapidly by tomorrow afternoon. We get a little snow in the mountains late tomorrow, and then some mixing along the coastline with snow and some cold rain by tomorrow night. So not a great night to go out. It doesn't look like along the coast before that system moves out. Saturday is actually a sneaky nice day. Partly cloudy, making a run at 50 along the coastline, more like mid-30s in the mountains under a decent amount of sunshine. And then our next storm system moves in for Sunday. So a progressive, quick-moving storm pattern where we have a couple of chances for relatively smaller events over the next few days. Sunday will be the bigger of the events, though. So from Sunday mid-morning, start to see some snow moving in. It starts to snow even along the coastline and sticks that way until early afternoon before some warm air tries to ride in along the coast and change us over. But it will be a battle, so I think we'll see quite a bit of accumulation before this happens. Meanwhile, it stays snow in the mountains before lifting out late Sunday night and into Monday. This is what I called in the banner an irresponsibly early forecast for snow on Sunday afternoon, Sunday night. It's our first shot at it. I think 2 to 4 even along the coastline, 4 to 6 just away from the coast and into the mountains, and then 1 to 2 inches over down east where they'll do a little bit more in the way of mixing. It's just not just your imagination, by the way. We have been mild this February. Of course, 68 is a heck of a number to stick into that forecast. We're plus almost 5, and right now, guys, on pace for our top 3 warmest February in Portland's recorded history. So snowy on Sunday, but you know, within that, although there are some chances of snow, we do make a run at 50 probably 3 times in the next 7 days along the coast, Saturday, Monday, and Wednesday. So it's not like we're going into the freezer here. Anything we get will be quickly dispersed of, and the mountains will get some replenishing, which I know they're looking forward to.
So that means I can go back to my old style of letting it melt and not having a shovel.
Yes.
I like that.
I got a plow guy who emailed me who was mad about that theory, though. He's like,
no.
let me get paid. I'm like,
Right.
All right. Yeah,
Right.
Okay. Sorry.
I
Thank you.
can
All
see
right.
his point.
Justice for Joyce McLean. 40 years after she was killed, Philip Scott Fournier is convicted for her murder. What her family has to say coming up tonight at 5:30.
Also in the next half hour, sometimes the campaign spending doesn't end with the election. The shady dealings of zombie campaigns straight ahead.
And when we come back, a live report from South Korea.
Picture and visualize moments like that thousands of times.
Relive the moment of glory with the U.S. women's hockey team next on Now.
All right, spoiler alert, we have the medal count from Pyeongchang straight ahead.
Team USA edges out the Netherlands for the 4th spot. Norway still leads the pack ahead of Germany by 10 medals. Canada sits in 3rd place.
Canada, by the way, may be ahead of the U.S. on the leaderboard, but we came out ahead when it counted during last night's women's hockey finals. For the first time in 2 decades, the U.S. beat our neighbors to the north, and the internet exploded with congratulations.
Paul Gerke was at the game, joins us now live. Paul, what was it like?
Lee and Lindsay, it's not just the internet exploding over this win. I mean, there was a huge USA contingent that went nuts, myself included. Maybe the most cherished sporting memory of my entire career. I'm still coming down from it this morning here in South Korea. With the final save in that 6th-round shootout, Team USA's 20-year-old goaltender, Maddie Rooney, snapped a Canadian Olympic winning streak that's existed for nearly as long as she has. Goliath has fallen off the pedestal as Team USA takes gold for the first time since 1998 in Nagano, a generational accomplishment that truly transcends sports.
That's the best moment of my life. It's amazing. I can't describe it. It's a gold medal final that went into a shootout, so it was very intense.
I've pictured and visualized moments like that thousands of times.
When she got the nod, I knew she was going to score, and I knew she was going to pull something out of her hat.
It's called Oops, I Did It Again, and done it thousands of times around tires the last 4 years. After I scored, I knew Maddie was I knew she was gonna stop it. I threw my stick on the bench and I was first out the door. I knew it was gonna happen.
I don't know, I think my body just went limp. In your dream, you think it's gonna be the best, but when it actually happens in reality, it's unbelievable too.
Just to stand there with our arms around each other, it was just an amazing feeling.
I can't describe it. I mean, it's amazing. It's our dream, been our dream since forever.
The 98 girls set the fire in our hearts when they won that gold medal. They dictated our lives. You know, we wanted to be them.
When they won, I was right out of the crib.
I was just thinking about everyone back home, everyone that came before us, the Trailblazers, the Julie Chus, the Andrew Ruggiero, and, you know, I hope we made them proud tonight.
It's actually real.
It is actually real. I can't believe it, guys. Can you believe it?
I really can't. I mean, they've been the second best team for the last 20 years, but they're finally the best team, which was very nice to see. So, Paul, I'm glad you had a chance to see that, and that's pretty cool stuff. So.
Absolutely electric feeling watching them celebrate after that shootout goal, the win.
All right, that'll do it for us. News Center at 5:30 begins
right now.